My talk will also concentrate on the Israel-Palestine conflict, but it will concentrate on an issue that is, I think, is pretty neglected, the issue of language rights in Israel, the protection of Arabic within Israel borders. I'm not talking about the occupied territories. I don't have, I didn't do the research there. My research refers only to within the borders of Israel. So basically, we have two opposite views in Israel regarding protecting the Arabic language or supporting it. One side is saying, well, if we support the Arabic language, it means that we are going to lose our Jewish Zionist state. This is a dangerous move. It's a collective dangerous right. We shouldn't do it. That's one side of the coin. The opposite side of the coin is saying, well, we should protect Arabic because it's good for the Arabs in Israel or the Palestinians in Israel. By the way, I teach in Israel. I'm a faculty member in two institutions, and in the two of them, one in Tzfat, the other one in Haifa. In the two of them, half of my students are Arabs or Palestinians, and some of them define themselves as Israeli Arabs. Some define themselves as Israeli Palestinians. Some define themselves as Palestinians. So it's a mix of and I think that each one of them is entitled to define himself or herself as they see fit. So my argument is that we should move from this coin that view Arabic as an instrument of supporting the Arabic or the Palestinian nation, or as a coin that puts in danger the Zionist or the Jewish people. I would actually like to propose a third view, according to which protecting Arabic and advancing it in Israeli public sphere is a crucial measure for creating strong civic solidarity between Arabs and Jews in Israel. Because elements like nationality and religion will not help to get it stronger, giving a comprehensive support to Hebrew and Arabic at the same time in Israel's public sphere is the only chance to create and sustain civic solidarity between Arabs or Palestinians and Jews. It is my hope that when Israeli citizenship will be identified with Arabic as it is identified with Hebrew, there will be more inclusion of Arabs in Israel society, and there will be stronger civic bond between Arabs or Palestinians and Jews. So I will start with talking about the current, I'm a lawyer, I'm a legal scholar, so I will start with talking about the current legal status of Arabic. I hope I will not bore you too much, but it will be short. So last year in the summer, the basic law, Israel, the nation state of the Jewish people, was enacted in August, and it determines that Hebrew is the state's language, that Arabic has a special status, and that the law will decide specific arrangements concerning the use of the Arabic language in governmental issues. Moreover, the basic law specifically notes that the law does not harm the prior status of the Arabic language before its enactment. Now, before this basic, notorious basic law, sometimes I speak about it and I burst into tears. So I ask your forgiveness, but it's a very emotional issue for me. So before this notorious basic law, the legislation that governed the issue of languages in Israel was Article 82 of the Palestinian Order in Council. It was a British mandatory legislation, and it defined Hebrew and Arabic as the official languages of Palestine. Now, Israeli law, when the State of Israel was established, it took this ordinance and kind of embraced it into Israeli law. Now, the problem is that it states that Arabic and Hebrew are the official languages of the state, but the problem is that we don't have any agreed idea of what it means to be an official language. Okay, we have states that official languages mean that the government really speaks to its citizens in several languages or in 2 languages, like in Canada, for instance. But we have states that have many official languages and they are not really protected. So there is no agreed concept in the legal literature or even if in the political theory literature about what it means to be an official language. So courts in Israel and the legislator had to kind of work with this term and find out what does it mean. So unfortunately, the problem was that most governmental authorities in Israel didn't support Arabic in the public sphere. So I'm talking about, for instance, I'm an academic, so I'm talking about higher education institutions, and we see that in some of them, like I also teach in Tel Aviv University, and in Tel Aviv University first year students in the Faculty of Law, I have a 30% of Israeli Palestinians, but the University of Tel Aviv University doesn't speak to its Israeli Palestinians in Arabic. You can rarely see Arabic in the faculty or in the university. Tzfat Academic College, the same thing. Like half of the students in all of the faculties and departments are Arabs, but you don't see Arabic. The same is in Haifa campus of the other college that I'm a faculty member, and you don't see it, for instance, in governmental websites. It should be very easy these days in the internet area to take Arabic and put it in the internet website. It's not so difficult, but people, the government doesn't do it, or I'll give you another example. Okay, railroads. Like I'm standing in one of Haifa's rail station. And the speaker is announcing all kind of announcements, and it announces it in English and Hebrew, no Arabic. It's like Arabs or Palestinians in Israel don't exist, and English is not even an official language. I don't think. I mean, English is good for the tourists and everything, but really, I mean. It's like you're standing in public places, and it's like Arabic is not there. It's like Arabs are not there at all. So, okay, I will move quickly. So courts needed to deal with this official language status, and I want to give you one example of a very famous Supreme Court decision in Israel. Ephraim mentioned the Adala NGO, so they put this petition forward. They are very successful NGO, And the case was about cities that had, they are defined in administrative law as mixed cities because they have Jews and Arabs or Palestinians in the city. We're talking about cities like Haifa, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. That's the idea. And Adala argued, well, they argued we have Arabic as an official language in Israel, so why does why do the street signs are only in Hebrew and English? Where is the Arabic? Okay, so and it was a very strong argument. So the court in a majority opinion granted the petition, and I thought it was a very good decision. But I'd like not to concentrate on the majority opinion, but rather on the minority opinion, and I'll explain you why. Because the minority opinion there, which didn't want to grant the petition, actually reflects the majority opinion within the Jewish public in Israel. So we have in the minority opinion Justice Cheshin. I was clerking in the Supreme Court like 15 years ago. He's a very charismatic guy. He already deceased, but he was a very charismatic guy, well written, speaks very well, very. Students of legal students tend to really admire him. So what was his minority opinion? Basically, he said that granting the petition or that protecting Arabic in the public sphere is a dangerous collective right that will harm the Jewish characteristic of Israel, that this is a very delicate political manner, and that the court should be very, very cautious in interpreting the status of Arabic as an official language in a large manner. So Justice Cheshin's, the minority opinion, actually was and still is the dominant position within the Jewish minority in the borders of Israel, and that dominant majority opinion has led, unfortunately, to the enactment of the basic law, Israel as a national home of the Jewish people. And I read 2 minutes, really? Okay, and I read all the proposals of the basic law, and all the proposals state very, very clearly that the idea of this basic law was to create a very sharp hierarchy between Hebrew and Arabic, and the idea was that if you give these two languages equal status, then it immediately means that you're talking about by a national state, and that the Jewish state will disappear, and so and so. So what I would like to propose is to support the Arabic language as a step towards strengthening civic solidarity between Arabs and Jews, because currently there is not much that makes a bond between Palestinians or Arabs and Jews in Israel. We cannot kind of identify with each other surrounding elements of religion, because we are Jews and they are Muslims and Christians and Druze and other kind of religions. And we cannot make a connection with them on the base of nationality. So as I see it, supporting Hebrew and Arabic at the same time on an equal level is the only chance to create some minimal kind of inclusion of the Palestinians in the state of Israel, to recognize some minimal recognition of the Arab people. And for myself, I just want to say that I'm Jewish. My parents immigrated from Egypt to Israel. And I think that instead of like the Mizrahi Jews or the Sephardic Jews, instead of understanding that Arabic was their heritage too, like my grandmother spoke Arabic fluently. My grandmother from two sides. So instead of understanding that Arabic is also our heritage, the Mizrahi Jews' heritage, most of the Mizrahi Jews in Israel are right-wing. They kind of see Arabic as the language of the enemy, and I think it's sad.
I think that's little early.
Yeah.
Well, but you need to understand that they are expressing in doing so, right? In doing what you just said, this is not Mizrahi, this is Zionism.
This is Zionism, yeah.
Okay, you understand that?
Yeah,
So
no, they express themselves, they want to prove that they're
Zionism
Zion.
means alienation and exclusion of Arabic by definition.
Exactly.
That's the theory. There's nothing else.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, we will have a discussion in about 2 minutes.